هداني إلهي بعيد العمى هداني إلهي بعيد العمى لدين عظيم هو السامي لدين عظيم هو السامي فخور بإسلامي فمنه.
Distinguished guests, fellow students, and the entire AMYLESA family. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. It's both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today as we explore a topic that sits at the crossroad of faith and innovation. In an age where artificial intelligence and also virtual reality are no longer science fiction, but part of our daily reality, we as Muslims must ask ourselves, where do we stand in this technological revolution? And my presentation today, titled as Islam in the Age of AI, and not only, most of us, when we hear AI, we normally talk about ChatGPT, but there is also VR, the virtual reality, and other artificial intelligence that reflects deeply on how we can harness modern tools while remaining rooted in our timeless Islamic values. As we dive into these discussions, may Allah guide our thoughts, purity, and may Allah guide our thoughts, purify our intentions, inshallah. First, what should we as Muslims in an organizational level, country level, like the government, in the county level, the country level, continentally, as we are in Africa, and also globally, do to embrace a proactive approach in AI development and usage to safeguard the purity and the sanctity of the message of Islam through AI. If I start in an organizational and institutional level, like most of us are from institutions and like Masini Muliro, JQuat, KU, how can we impress? First, in an organizational level, we can introduce courses that explore AI in light of Islamic teachings in our mentorship programs in both high schools and also in an organizational level. Islamic teachings like Tawheed in relevance to AI. We can emphasize that no creation should assume divine authority and that AI must remain a tool and not a goal-like decision maker. Educating Muslims in using AI-based knowledge is a trust from Allah, and misusing it for fraud or surveillance is a betrayal. We also, as an association, can recommend philosophical fields to integrate with AI studies. For example, in the field of akhlaq, one should understand the right and wrong in the digital age and compare them with the Islamic ethics and with the secular AI ethics. Establish innovation labs within the institution or Islamic institutions focusing on AI and Islamic sciences. We can also develop tools like Arabic text recognition for Quranic manuscripts, AI to assist in deriving fiqh rulings based on authentic hadith and scholarly consensus. We can also use AI to detect and respond to misinterpretation of the Quranic verses in online, the Islamophobic propagandas in medias. What can we do in a country level? What can the government do? Governments can draft an AI policy based on Islamic principles like preventing bias and discrimination, also respecting the privacy and the dignity of individuals. These policies should regulate how AI is used in sections like the media, in education, security, and also the main, which is in our healthcare. Mostly now, most researchers use AI to do their research proposals, maybe, to do their study, instead of going directly to the ground. Like in healthcare, it's a major risk when a doctor uses an AI to search for a patient's diagnosis instead of using his own knowledge or maybe what he studied for. And it's a risk to our current age. The government can also support local tech companies and developers with funding, infrastructure, and training to build AI tool tailored for Muslim communities, translate and process Islamic text in native languages, create apps for salah reminders, Quran learning, and zakat calculation also, and halal tracking. This reduces reliance on foreign technologies that may misinterpret or mispresent Islam and exclude Islamic values. The government can also enact laws to monitor how AI is used in news, social media, and advertising, and can also ban and penalize platforms that allow AI-generated anti-Islamic content, protect scholars and Islamic institutions from reputational damage through deepfakes and AI-generated lies. Globally, we can build a unified Muslim AI consortium, a global network of Muslim thinkers, developers, and leaders under bodies like International Union of Muslim Scholars, the Muslim World League. These bodies could develop AI standards based on Sharia, fund joint research projects, and certify AI tools and apps as Islamically compliant. We can also digitize and centralize Islamic texts like tafsir, fiqh, hadith, and classical fiqh works. Build databases that AI can learn from, making sure that sources used are authentic and not manipulated. This can help avoid problems where AI models like the ChatGPT or the Google Pad misinterpret Islamic content due to poor or biased data. Another question that we are supposed to ask ourselves: how can we as Muslims redefine and scale dawah approaches to align with modern day technological trends to achieve great influence and impact? AI has impacts, it has potential risks, it has a lot of benefits. It can be a ni'mah and it can be a fitna. Traditional dawah methods like street preaching, pamphlets are still valid, but today's audience engage more in online, visually, interactively, and also quickly. AI allows us to redefine those personalized on-demand dawah, like using AI algorithms to personalize dawah contents like videos, posts, answer-based like the chatbots, scaling dawah using AI tools and platforms like AI-powered chatbots for Islamically guidance by building by sources to answer questions in multiple languages, which must be reviewed and monitored by scholars for Sharia accuracy. AI tools can mine data to track what kind of Islamic content trends on all social medias like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and to identify regions or demographic with low Islamic knowledge or high curiosity. Targeted dawah ensures efforts are impactful and based on actual community needs rather than the assumptions. AI can analyze patterns of human behavior, like when people are most reflective, what kind of content influences them, and align dawah messaging accordingly. This can impact releasing spiritual content during moments of crisis or emotional vulnerability, increases receptivity. Dawah that connects with the heart is more impactful than just intellectual engagement. The technological strength of the Ummah through AI. What are some of the current technological strengths of the Ummah through artificial intelligence? The Muslim world has a large youthful population that is digitally active and shows growing interest in coding, AI, blockchain, and virtual reality. Youth-led innovations can drive halal tech startups in fintech, education, agriculture, and health, creating jobs and solving local problems. Young Muslims can also monetize digital skills through freelancing, app development, and e-commerce, which reduces unemployment. Like the Gulf states, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, they have invested heavily in AI. The smart cities like the NEOM, which is currently innovated, and digital innovation hubs, leaving them a strategic edge in tech development. If properly aligned with the Masjid Sharia, like the NEOM, could inspire Islamic models of sustainable development. Universities in places like Turkey, Malaysia, Egypt are increasingly incorporating AI in STEM curricula, boosting a local capacity. Youth can lead the way in creating AI-powered Islamic solutions if they are properly trained. Successful Islamic apps and platforms like the Qibla Finder, the Muslim Bro, Quran Masjid have millions of downloads globally. This demonstrates that Islamic digital tools are scalable and globally relevant. Some of the weaknesses of the technological world can be like most Muslim countries currently do not rank. Most of them do not rank in the top 30 in AI research. Patents or publications. Universities and institutions lack resources, funding, or collaboration for deep AI and machine learning development. This makes the Ummah dependent on Western-built tools which may carry cultural or ideological bias. Traditional Islamic institutions like the madrasas have not fully embraced digital transformation, which leaves the Ummah behind in shaping future generations' religious knowledge and also tools. There is no global or regional platform that unites Muslim nations in AI or VR research and development, which leads to missed opportunities for collective bargaining, research, and leadership. The potential risks of the technological world, existing AI system, it often reflects Western data biases that may stereotype or marginalize Muslims in areas like law enforcement or hiring algorithms. Overexposure to non-Islamic virtual content risks diluting traditional values, especially among youth. Without reskilling efforts, AI could automate jobs, worsening unemployment in an already vulnerable economy. AI-driven misinformation or cyber warfare could be used by external powers to manipulate public opinion in Muslim countries. In stating the risks, the potential opportunities, what can be the strategic recommendations in such a technological world? We can establish a unified tech council to coordinate AI or the virtual reality policy, research, and funding across the Ummah. We can incubate startups through halal venture funds, hubs, and scholarships focusing on digital solutions rooted in Islamic values. We can also develop a Muslim AI charter that defines acceptable tech use in an alignment with the Masjid Sharia objective of the Islamic law. We can use tech to educate Ummah about digital risks, the critical thinking, and the responsible tech use. Prioritize coding, the robotics, the ethical AI curricula in madrasas, schools, and universities. As I conclude, from an Islamic worldview, AI is not inherently good or evil, but it's a ni'mah, or it can be a fitna, depending on how it is used. Like fire or wealth, it must be handled with wisdom, taqwa, and responsibility. Most existing AI ethic guidelines are based on secular liberal values. The Ummah must framework for AI and ensure that AI respects human dignity, privacy, justice, and moral accountability as taught in Islam. وهذا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
هو السامي فخور